Hey everybody, this is Shane. This week I want to talk a little bit about food journaling, what it is, why it's important, how it's really going to help benefit you and help you meet your goals throughout the coming months and beyond. So if you haven't food journaled before, food journaling is really the practice of tracking our foods, logging everything we're eating and drinking throughout the day. And it's a tool that's going to make us much more mindful of the choices we're making, the things we're eating and drinking, because we're going to be keeping track of those things. And we're going to see at the end of the day, what did I consume? How can I make improvements? All sorts of things we'll be able to tell from the information that you keep in your food journal. And really, food journaling isn't just good for people who are looking to lose weight. While it is beneficial there, people who want to improve their health in any way, whether it's blood pressure or cholesterol, or any way that we can impact our health through the foods we eat, food journaling is going to be a benefit. Also, for those of you that are maybe looking to perform better when you go out on a bike ride, or just anybody who wants to have a healthier lifestyle through food, is going to really benefit from food journaling. For those of you that are interested in losing weight or have a weight loss goal, I want you to know that research has shown that people who food journal are more successful at losing weight, especially those who do it consistently. One study even showed out of 1,700 participants, those that kept a consistent food journal lost twice as much weight as those individuals who didn't keep track of what they ate. So you can see just from that where that benefit really lies. Other ways that it's going to be beneficial, we're going to be more mindful of the types of things we're eating and the foods that we're choosing throughout the day if we hold ourselves accountable to logging those things. It's going to make us think more about the portions of the foods we eat rather than just eating to how we feel. We're going to consider more what's a serving. And it's really going to allow us to meet our health goals faster. One other neat thing that we'll be able to do is we'll be able to identify trends in your eating patterns and in your dietary intake to see, are there deficiencies, or are there foods that we should maybe work on eliminating or eating less often? Are there foods that we should work on eating more often? We're going to be able to see that information by you keeping a detailed food journal as we move forward. So what's the best way to do this? I haven't food journaled before. I need to get started. What do I need to do? Well, you could write everything down in a literal paper journal if you wanted to. That gets to be a little tedious, so don't really highly encourage that. I've seen people keep an electronic spreadsheet where they enter the foods they eat and the calories and the macronutrients and those types of things. If you're a spreadsheet person and you really like spreadsheets, maybe that'll work for you. But again, I don't highly recommend it. Really, the best way for us to keep a food journal is using websites and apps. Things like MyFitnessPal are really great. There are a number of others out there. Some of you might be using some of those apps or websites already. Maybe you're not, but that's really the thing that I would encourage each of you to look into. So what's the best time of day to do this? Should I do it at the end of the day? Well, we'd be able to look at trends if you logged everything you ate through the end of the day or at the end of the day, but it's not maybe going to be as beneficial for you as a feedback tool if that's when you're doing it. So rather than just logging things one time a day after you've eaten, a better method would be as you're eating or immediately after, logging how much of each item that you ate, serving size, etc., what time of day or which meal of the day is going to give you more valuable feedback as you go along. Really, the best way to do it that's going to allow you to make the best choices about what you're going to eat is actually before you eat the food rather than even immediately after. Because if you log the food into your app, it's going to give you some feedback right away. It's going to say, well, this is 500 calories, or maybe it's 1,000 calories and it's got this much fat or this much protein or this much carbohydrate. And is that the choice that you really want to make, rather than I'm going to eat this thing and then I'm going to log it afterwards? And sometimes that can be incredibly eye-opening, and we might say, oh, I wish I would have known that before. So really my recommendation is, if you're able to, before you eat the food or sit down for a meal, go ahead and log what you intend to eat. And then maybe you'll make a different choice about the portion size, or how many items you're going to choose during that particular meal. And really, it's going to be the most beneficial if you're logging everything you're eating and drinking, not just the things that are health foods, but those things that aren't health foods as well, because then we can see, where are the trends? When are you making good choices? When are you making not so good choices, and why? And how do we address that? How do we give you alternatives or replacements for some of the things you're making to allow you to make the healthiest choices possible? The other thing, as you're logging, not only logging everything, but really trying to be specific. So if I'm eating a sandwich, I'm not just going to enter in turkey sandwich. I'm going to enter in for lunch 2 pieces of whole wheat bread, whatever brand it might be, a slice of mozzarella cheese, 6 slices of turkey, mustard, and mayonnaise. That's how I'm going to log my sandwich, because there's going to be great variation if I just put in turkey sandwich versus the actual items of the food that I ate. And if you have the ability to log a specific brand, if you know what brand the food is, if it's not something that's homemade, put that in there, because from brand to brand, the calorie and macronutrient content can vary greatly, as well as the serving size. So many of the apps have a neat feature where you can use a barcode scanner on your phone to scan the item if it's got a barcode on it, and it'll save the things that you're eating the most often. So if there's frequent foods in there, it's going to make it easier to log as things go along, because those foods are going to be readily accessible for you as well. Along with that, not just what it is that you're eating, how much, or the brand, but how much are you eating of that item. So really do your best to estimate the portion size. Is it 2 slices of bread, or is it a certain number of ounces of something, or a tablespoon, or what is that volume? And the more accurate we can be, it doesn't have to be perfect, but the more accurate we can be with the amount, the closer it's going to be on caloric value and macronutrient and micronutrient breakdowns, and we're going to be able to see all that information. So if you're not already using an app to log your food, I'm really going to encourage you to go to the MyFitnessPal website and create an account. And if you really like doing things on the computer versus on a smartphone or tablet or that type of thing, totally fine. You can access your account from the computer, you can log your food from the computer, but most often it's going to be more convenient to do it right from your smartphone if you have one. So once you've set up your MyFitnessPal account, you're going to be able to download the MyFitnessPal app onto your smartphone or onto a tablet if you have a tablet as well, and then you can log directly into your account through that app. And when you guys have your initial meeting with the Trek dietitian, if you haven't done that already, she's going to give each of you a custom daily calorie goal and some macronutrient goals, as well as some things to work on in terms of improving your existing eating patterns also. Once you guys are all set up with the MyFitnessPal app or whatever app alternative you've chosen, go ahead and start journaling. And this is really a process. This isn't going to be something that overnight you're perfect at. By no means do we expect that. This is really the opportunity to use a feedback tool that's going to allow you to see, what am I consuming throughout the day? You're going to see trends yourself right away. I'm getting in too much sugar, or I'm not eating enough protein, or I'm eating most of my calories late in the day, or whatever it might be. We're going to be able to see those trends. And the more often you're logging, it's going to become easier and easier as a habit to just continue on with that. When you get started, don't worry about everything being perfect. Just do your best to accurately log the foods that you're eating throughout the day and the beverages that you're consuming. And again, as you continue with the process, it's going to get easier. You're going to be more familiar with the app, and that accuracy will improve. And really try and hold yourselves accountable if you can to doing it daily. It's really going to be the most beneficial no matter what your goal is if you're keeping track of these things every day. I understand circumstances come up where maybe you can't do it one day for some reason. Maybe you're out of town, maybe work just got too crazy, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to be able to put those things in, get some feedback, and really identify those trends as to what's going on with my nutrition. Again, try and log foods prior to eating them so you can make good choices about portion size or the types of food. If you're not able to log it prior to eating it, as soon after eating it as you're able to, go ahead and try and log that meal so you can see, how am I going to plan out the rest of my day? What's lunch and dinner going to look like after I know what breakfast was for today? And once you guys get it all set up, go ahead and email me your username that you've set up on MyFitnessPal so I can add you as a friend and we can have some accountability there, and I can also give you some feedback. Along with the Trek Dietitian, we'll be able to give you feedback as well on the things that we're seeing in your daily diet, and we'll be able to give you some suggestions on ways that we can improve so you guys can move towards your goals at an even faster rate. The big thing that I want you all to remember as well is that we really are a product of what we put into our bodies and how we move them. And this is a long journey. It's not about perfection right away. We just want to work on every day making any kind of improvements we can and identifying new ways to get better. So really look forward to helping you guys get started with food journaling, and hopefully this is a tool that's going to be really great in your toolbox for meeting your health goals and moving in the direction that you want to go. So that's all I've got for you today. We'll talk to you guys more about this as we move along. I hope you found this useful and enjoyed it, and we'll get you more great information to help you guys along each of your journeys real soon. Have a great day, everybody.